What is going on YouTube? Levi Adams here with another Pokemon trading card game live video. Today we are going to be looking at one of my favorite Pokemon out of the 7th generation, Bewear. Now Bewear is a regular rare in the new Sun and Moon set, so it is very easy and cheap to build. Um, and we're going to be taking a look at Bewear and how we can make it work in the current meta, make it meta. So here we go. Greninja was the first episode. That's just because Greninja is my personal favorite deck of all time. Greninja is already very meta. But Bewear is definitely not. You don't see a lot of Bewear running around. But I'm going to show you why you should be seeing some Bewear running around. So our first attack, Bear Hug. Um, the defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn for 40 damage. It's pretty good. Definitely not the best card in the world, but it is good for, or best attack in the world. Bewear is by no means like the best card in the world either, but we'll definitely make it work. Bear Hug can can help get easier KOs. Say there are there are decks that use things like Manaphy EX, Shaman EX. A lot of decks use Shaman EX. And what we can do is we can use the Bear Hug attack in order to trap those Pokemon into the active and take easy prize cards on cards that our opponent wouldn't really want to attack with. And the second attack, Superpower. This attack may do you may do 40 more damage if you do. This Pokemon does 20 damage to itself. So that is Bewear, and we are going to be looking at how we can make Bewear work a little bit better. And I'm actually going to make a real quick adjustment to the deck live. You guys are gonna see this. This will be fun. I'm gonna take those out. I'm very mixed about those. Anyway, go ahead and let's go to trainers, because I just realized that I don't have any stadium cards in here. But we're gonna, I will go over why I'm choosing Rough Seas in just a moment. And there was one other card I wanted to add. Oh, Kukui. Kukui's just too good right now. So here we go. So to go along with our Bewear, Bewear is a stage 1, so that means we're going to be using Energy Evolution, EV, along with the different evolutions from Ancient Origins. We have Flareon with Flare Effect. Each of your stage 1 Pokemon is a fire type in addition to their normal type. Water type in addition to its current type with Vaporeon, and lightning with in addition to its existing type. So these Pokemon basically let us hit for weakness on anything. For example, Jolteon lets us hit Pokemon such as Yveltal, such as Mega Rayquaza, such as Shaman for weakness, just to name a few. Flareon helps us hit Pokemon such as Lurantis, such as Sceptile if we ever see it, but you don't really see much Sceptile. But Sceptile, Vileplume, Vespiquen is another one that's weak to fire, and we also have Vaporeon to help hit Pokemon like Volcanion and less common Incineroar for weakness. Just to name a couple of decks. So these Pokemon really help us hit for weakness on those types. We also run 2 Oranguru as a bit of draw support and a secondary attacker if we need them. Psychic is not a bad attack. It's not the best attack in the world, but it's definitely not bad. Now going into our item count, we run 4 copies of Nest Ball because it searches out everything but our evolutions. And in order to get our evolutions, we run Evosoda. I really like Evosoda just because it's a free search from the deck. And we have enough draw power to the point where we can get to our other Pokemon pretty easily. as well as cards to help our consistency. We have a lot of cards to help consistency in this deck. So we play 2 Special Charge, or we did play 2 Special Charge until I accidentally removed one from the deck, but now we play 2. Because Special Charge helps us get our special energy from the discard pile, and if you notice, every single one of our Pokemon can use double colorless energy to attack. That is right, we may have to end up attacking with our evolutions at some point. I actually just played a test game with this deck. I played this deck before, but just so I could get a feel for it again. And Jolteon is actually the whole reason I won, due to its Thunder Blast attack, which sounds so cool, by the way. So yeah, 2 Special Charge so we can keep our double colorless energy in our deck, 2 Super Rod so we can shuffle back our Pokemon into our deck, 3 copies of Trainer Mail to help find the trainer cards that we may need, 4 copies of Yes Eater because that's standard, 3 copies of Rough Seas. The reason I'm going with Rough Seas is because 2 out of our 3 Pokemon that change our types work with Rough Seas. The only one that doesn't work is Flareon, and more often than not we will get 2 of these into play, if not just one of them. So we can use Rough Seas, and if not, it's just a good way to bump our opponent's stadium without having to use a card like Delinquent, which wastes our supporter for the turn. Or, I mean, I suppose we could change these with Paint Roller, but Paint Roller's not a good card. We play 2 copies of Lysander because Lysander. We play 3 copies of N and 3 copies of Sycamore. Going with 3 just because I don't really mind. I don't really want it to discard a lot. And I would like to go 4-3 on these, but space is just a wee bit tight. As well as 1 copy of Professor Kukui to help with our relatively low damage output. And finally, this space is almost full. That's fun. And finally 2 copies of Floatstone. Our energy count is 4 double colorless energy, 2 fire energy, 3 electric energy, and 2 water energy. The reason we go with this energy count is because we do have the energy evolution Eevee, and we can go ahead and attach one of the energy to the Eevee if we want to. And this allows us to get any of our various evolutions out, as well as give us an opportunity to attack with each of them. And this also combos nicely with our Bewear, just because Superpower is a double colorless, or is 3 colorless energy, so we have the freedom to use whatever energy we would like in the deck. So I'm going to cut to where I get another game, or to where I get a game, and I will see you guys in... Alright, here we go, guys. We are the Bears, and we are here. By the looks of it, we are going to be playing a Gardevoir EX deck, just from deck preview. And this is definitely going to be an interesting matchup, because we can't hit anything for weakness in this deck, aside from maybe Shamans and Dragonites. So we are going to go ahead and just try and get up some Jolteon, or get up some Jolteons, as we get nothing in our hand to start down, start by throwing down a basic. Now I think the key here is definitely going to be using Bear Hug to our advantage. Using Bear Hug and hitting things for weakness that we otherwise wouldn't be able to hit for a good amount of damage. So yeah, Bear Hug's definitely going to be the play. Probably going to have to go for a superpower here or there. It definitely all depends on whether my opponent is playing a lot of switching cards. If not, then hooray, but it will also force my opponent to use cards such as Lysander so that they can take down Jolteons, and some other cards here and there too. As we see that my opponent starts with a Dragonite in the active. I'm going to go ahead and attach the lightning energy up here. We're going to get another Stuffle on the bench. We see we have all 4 of our Bewear, we have all 4 of our Stuffle, and we do have the Jolteon in deck. So let's just go ahead and start that up. We will be able to end our opponent's hand down just a little bit. We get another Stuffle as well as a Nest Ball, which we can go ahead and use and probably get out our Oranguru. I definitely think Oranguru is going to be another Pokemon that's useful in this matchup. Hopefully we can get into a Drought Supporter this next turn, or our opponent has to end us, because that would be pretty useful. We see the energy attachment down here to the Gardevoir. This is a very nice looking card. So again, just hoping that our opponent has a way to get us out of our hand in the form of N, or that maybe we can draw into something, which we don't. And I definitely think that going for the Bewear here is probably the play to go for, because we can evolve our Stuffle into Bewear, attach the double colorless energy, and just go for Bear Hugs here, keeping our opponent's Dragonite stuck in the active. So even if he does find a way to retreat his Dragonite, he doesn't actually have a way to retreat his Dragonite. Now, based on the fact that he does have the Dragonite, I can go ahead and guess that he is playing the Steam Siege version of Mega Gardevoir. And the Steam Siege version Mega Gardevoir does extra damage. You can see, discard as many bench Pokemon as you like. This attack does 10 more damage for each of the bench Pokemon discarded this way. So basically what this means is that his he needs Pokemon on his bench in order to maximize on his damage. We do see a Hoopa come up, which is pretty good. He's probably going to grab 2 Gardevoir and a Shaman, if I had to take a wild guess, just so he can fill up his bench as well as maximize on his draw. So here we go. We do see the 2 Gardevoir and 1 Shaman. He is playing the deck pretty well, all things considered. He does have the Fairy Garden, but Fairy Garden does not matter considering the fact that we used Bear Hug. Bear Hug does stop my opponent from retreating completely, so regardless of whether or not he has a free retreat condition, unless he plays a card like Switch or Escape Rope, we can go ahead and just switch in our Stuffle. Little unfortunate, looks like we're going to have to go on a slightly larger offensive. Maybe if we draw into a Lysander, we get a Kukui, and we also get another Bewear, and we get an N in hand, so that's definitely not bad. Definitely not bad at all. I think the play might just to be set up another Bewear and see where we can go from there. I do want to use Kukui and maybe get up a little bit extra damage, but at the same time I think ending to not only shrink my opponent's hand size, but to also give us a better chance of drawing into another card would be great. So we're going to go ahead and use Jolteon, just so that we can get up, or just so that we can get our electric effect into play, so that we can hit some of his Pokemon for more damage. We are going to go ahead and bump his Stadium as well, and a Oranguru for 1 while we can, because why not get every single card we can. Super Rod is definitely not worth using at this moment in time. And I'm going to go ahead and go for the Superpower. Now this does put us in range of his Gardevoir's attack, of Gardevoir's Despair Ray, without having to discard any Pokemon Ooh, that's a little rough. Fair drop is going to make this matchup a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Now we are going to see whether or not my opponent chooses to discard any Pokemon, such as a Pokemon that could be a liability, namely the Dragonite. He does get rid of all the useless, quote-unquote useless Pokemon. So definitely not a bad play on my opponent's part. As we draw into a Lysander too. Yeesh. So I'm going to go ahead and use Super Rod to get Stuffle, Bewear, and the Lightning Energy back into my deck. There's no point in not bringing up this Gardevoir just so we can try and get some damage off on it. I'm going to, of course, use a Rangaroo first, just so that we can get some more draw power, and we can go ahead and attach this energy right here. Go for the Bear Hug, just get a little bit of extra damage off, and next turn we should be able to and get a little bit of extra card flow to our hands. We do see the Ultra Ball, meaning my opponent is going for a Pokemon that is weak to us. Another Hoopa, okay. I'm surprised that he's playing. I mean, he doesn't really need that much damage that often. Gardevoir, the Mega Gardevoir deck is more of a two-shot deck than anything. I think the play might be to trap this Hoopa in the active next turn. We see the Mega Gardevoir and we see the Shaman, so I could also just try and take an easy 2 prizes on the Shaman if I really wanted to. But that's not necessarily something I want to do. I kind of want to keep this Gardevoir stuck in the active for as long as I possibly can, while also managing to take down one of his main attackers. We see the Gardevoir Spirit Link come down on this Gardevoir. Surprised that he wouldn't really want to get a Spirit Link down on this Gardevoir and maybe give it some more HP, but I mean, whatever my opponent wants to do, that's fine. I do think that the VS Seeker for Lysander on Shaman is maybe a better play for me, just because of the fact that so we get the Stuffle as well as an Eevee. I don't know that placing Eevee down was a good play. What cards? I think we just have a Stuffle that we can shuffle back. So that's definitely not worth it. That's kind of worth it, I guess. Use it or lose it. That's what I say. So we are going to go ahead and Sycamore just to increase our card flow a little bit more. Let's go ahead and attach the double colorless energy right there, as well as go ahead and use Bewear's Bear Hug attack, just so we can keep this Gardevoir up in the active a little bit longer. Next turn we should be able to superpower for the knockout on the Shaman, as well as force my opponent to discard a couple more Pokemon. We may even just keep on attacking this Gardevoir up here if we really wanted to. Now, of course, if my opponent decides to go for, nothing, then my opponent goes for nothing, I suppose. I will go ahead and attach another Lightning Energy. No, I'll attach a Water Energy down to Bewear. We'll hold on to the Lightning Energy just in case we want to use it for something else later. But let's just go ahead and Bear Hug. Next turn we will be able to get the KO. I am fairly confident that we will be able to win this game. Mainly due to the fact that just being able to poke for such little damage, if my opponent takes 2 of my prize cards, then I only have, or for every one prize card that I take, my opponent has to take two, or, well, every Pokemon I KO, my opponent has to KO two Pokemon, if that makes sense. Um, Unfortunately, though, it looks like they're about to undo all my work. Probably going to Despair Ray away the Shaman and the Gardevoir EX. The regular Gardevoir EX with the damage on it, and the Hoopa as well by the looks of it, by the fact that they did 140 damage. Well, let's go ahead and just throw our Bewear out there, and at this point it's kind of just hope for the best. We can go ahead and just special charge, as well as evolve our Bewear in the back, and Lysander, and just Lysander this here Gardevoir EX into the active. Yeah, sure. Oranguru, why don't you get me an extra card? We get the VS Seeker, so not bad, not bad. It is looking a little more rough as to whether or not we're going to be able to win this. But I'm going to have confidence in me. We're certainly not going down without a fight, that's for damn sure. My opponent is wearing down their deck a little bit faster than I am, which is pretty nice. So we could just turn this into a deck out battle, see who gets the other one to deck out first. But that's a little boring and nobody really wants to see that. So we are going to go ahead and Bear Hug again. Of course we can't really turn this into a deck out battle. However, he has to two-shot us, whereas we don't have to two-shot him. Good play on my opponent's part, where turning the game into a deck-out battle actually works in his favor now after that end, because I have less cards in deck than he does. However, looks like my opponent's grabbing a Skyfield for no reason whatsoever. We do have another Oranguru we can set down, but I kind of want to save that space for a Stuffle, maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the end, just to see if we can maybe get some different cards in hand. We get the double colorless, and we also get the Trainer's Mail, so let's go ahead and get the Trainer's Mail and see what we can get there. We can get the Professor Kukui off the Trainer's Mail, which could potentially work in our favor later, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Kukui now. Let's also go ahead and attach down to a Oranguru, and just go for the Bear Hug on the Gardevoir. So next turn, we might even stall for one more turn, just so that we can get some maximum potential stuff going on. Ooh, my opponent gets the Olympia. So now, in order to get the KO on my Bewear, my opponent has to remove both of these Pokemon. So I think this is where Kukui is really going to come into play. If he wants to get the one shot on the Bewear, he's going to have to attack, or he's going to have to get rid of both of these. And if he wants to get rid of his only attackers, that is perfectly fine by me, but as you can see, he does not want to get rid of his only attackers. We can go ahead and use the Professor Kukui here, though. We are able to get the Rough Seas, so let's go ahead and heal our Bewear with said Rough Seas, just so that we are out of range of our own superpower attack. We can go ahead and attach to Oranguru here, because Oranguru is now going to be able to do more damage, so let's go ahead and just smack him with a superpower real quick. Do a nice 140 damage, putting him in range of a superpower, a non-boosted superpower, mind you, and giving us a little bit better chance to come back from this game. It looks like his normal Guard of War EX is also in range of our superpower, which is pretty solid, as he then takes his Mega Guard of War out of range of a non-boosted superpower. That is, unless we can BS Seeker for another Kukui, but it looks like he's just going to go ahead and get rid of the Guard of War on the bench, with a Despair Ray maybe? I mean, it's not a question of whether or not he's using Despair Ray, it's a question of whether or not he wants to get rid of them. And we do see the Hoopa, so he's definitely not getting rid of all of his Pokemon just yet, but he is most definitely running out of deck, and that is not a good sign for my opponent. So he has to play pretty aggressively here, unless he has some Lysanders that he's saving for my evolution cards. He is going to have to attack the Bewears, and even a Rangaroo he's going to have to sacrifice a Pokemon for. So we do see that my opponent chooses to sacrifice the Hoopa as well as the Mega Gardevoir EX. I suppose just trying to avoid some damage via or some Lysandering shenanigans, but we're going to go ahead and just do 100 damage here, and put my opponent in a pretty tight spot, because if I can manage to get to just one of my Lysanders or even a VS Seeker, I'm in a relatively good position, because I'll be able to knock out one of his main attackers. Sure, his Dragonite is going to be able to use its pull-up ability to pull up some basic Pokemon, but he can't get his Megas back. And I don't know where his Megas are, but he's not using them, which I find very interesting. It looks like we might see a Mega come down on this Gardevoir in the back, but we do see the Despair Ray come off here. So, you know, pretty good for my opponent, I suppose. Let's attack to 70 more damage. Alright. So we are going to go ahead and actually just thin down our hand as much as we can to try and get to a supporter card. Go ahead and attach this lightning energy down to Jolteon. See if maybe we can grab a VS Seeker to get to a Kukui. Oh yes, that is perfect. So what I can actually go ahead and do is use Professor Kukui, thin out my deck just a little bit more, then use a Trainer's Mail. We got a VS Seeker, boys. We are in this. We are most definitely in this. We are going to go ahead and use Superpower. Unfortunately, we still have to do the extra 20. Meaning, we are in knockout range of a Luminous Blade. But you can't say we didn't go down with, or you can't say we went down without. You can't say we went down without a fight. I probably should have just Lysandered this Gardevoir up, if we're being honest. Then he would have just been able to take the KO with a Despair Ray. Whereas now, he doesn't necessarily have the KO. He does need either the Mega Evolution or another energy in order to catch the KO on our Bewear. And if he doesn't have either of those things, then he can't win. So we're gonna go ahead and see what he has. If he's just wasting my time right now and he can Mega Evolve, then I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a little agitated. But we'll see. We will most definitely see. I'm gonna find it very hilarious if like his last prize card is a Gardevoir. He is not about to play an N. He's about to play an N. He's trying to either find his last energy or his last Gardevoir. Considering he just sent a lot back into his deck, his chances of finding either of those things are very, very low. He will be able to Luminous Blade for a considerable amount. We win! We win, boys! This is the pressure Bewear puts on. This is mainly just due to the fact that my opponent expelled a lot of resources. He wouldn't have been able to get some energy in order to attack me with any of his other Pokemon, and I'm guessing he didn't get an energy or the Mega in hand. His last Mega might have been prized, but that's what happens when you use a non-EX or GX deck. The prize exchange is just works very well in your favor, and even if you are losing a lot of Pokemon, it's not the same as losing an EX. But still, good game. Definitely had me on my toes, but Bewear is just too strong, man. Just too strong. Able to stall him out of resources. That's a good game. That's a good game. So I'm going to get another game, and I'll make a quick cut, and I'll see you guys there. What is going on, guys? Next game. Here we go. We got a pretty good start. Our opponent has no basic Pokemon. If we are playing the deck I think we're playing a deck that was done by Yellow Swellow, so shoutouts to him. It is the Decidueye. It is the Decidueye Gladios first turn donk deck. Which is pretty interesting, not gonna lie. Just like kind of a cool deck to play against. But I don't know. I guess we're just gonna see how interesting it is in this matchup. So yeah, we see the Latios out first turn. We see that we only have one of our Oranguru in deck. I think what we're gonna do is just play Stuffle down on the bench. Go ahead and attach the Fire Energy down here to Eevee. Get Flareon out. Next turn we should be able to get the energy attachment off, as well as both of our Bewear evolutions, and then be able to draw with our Oranguru from there and see if maybe we can get into a good draw supporter or something. But yeah, okay, so we see the double Dragon Energy. Let's just sit back and watch as my opponent just kind of goes off. We do see the Dartrix, confirming what I thought to be the Decidueye deck. We see he grabs the Rowlet with the Ultra Ball, which is a little interesting, not gonna lie. He probably has Shays in hand, yeah, so he has the Shaman to get his draw support off. I think Latios is such a cool Pokemon. Look at him, he's so dope. I personally prefer the promo Latios art, though, to any other art, really. We see that he's had to throw away 2 Dartrix already, which does not bode well for my opponent. It looks like my opponent just now gets to a Forest of Giant Plants to be able to do a little bit of extra damage. I'm gonna go ahead and guess he has some Fighting Fairy Belts in here to help increase his damage output. But we're either going to see the Shaman or maybe a Dartrix. Yep, we do see the Dartrix. I'm going to go ahead and guess that he has the Decidueye in hand. It's going to go Dartrix, then Decidueye, or maybe even just Dartrix play a Shaman. So it looks like he's going to Ultra Ball away some of his hands so he can shaman for 6. Um, yep. Goes ahead and Ultra Balls away at double Dragon Energy. I'm guessing he only plays 4 of those in the deck. We see an Oranguru come out actually, so very interesting on my opponent's part, but we'll roll with it. We'll most certainly roll with it. So we see the Instruct for 3. Maybe he can get something off of this. We see an Acro. What do we see off the Acro? We see a Force of Giant Plants go to the discard. We see a Relic come down, therefore filling up his bench, and he gets the Fast Raid off. So Fast Raid for 40 damage, nothing too impressive. So we have our Bewears to evolve here. And let's just go ahead and evolve both of our Stuffles and attach down to Bewear here. Go for the Instruct for 1, get a Trainer's Mail, which is golden. I'm just going to go ahead and grab Rough Seas. Rough Seas doesn't really do anything for me. Hopefully next turn we get a card and maybe we can Instruct again. But Rough Seas, though it doesn't do anything for me in particular, it does just kind of prevent his one-turn evolution combos. We're definitely going to see a Feather Arrow here for 20 damage, another Fast Raid for 40. That's the good thing about Stuffle and actually like a lot of the new basics. The first turn donks are nowhere near as possible. Okay, so we get into a Lysander. Can we get into like a double colorless energy though? Because if we can get into a double colorless energy, this would be a pretty golden hand. Because we'd be able to trap the Decidueye up here. We might even just be able to trap the Decidueye up here regardless. I don't know how many switching cards he plays, if we've seen any switching cards even. We do see the Dartrix come up. Maybe he has something to discard here. Maybe. Or maybe he has a Forest of Giant Plants to discard our stadium. Sorry, it's late at the time of recording. It's 12:30 in the morning. So, you know, like midnight and a half. So we're probably gonna see a Light Pulse here. I mean, Decidueye is a good combo card here. Even if we can get a single energy. A single energy card would help us trap this Decidueye up here. We could chip away at it with Flareon's, with the help of Flareon's Flare effect. So hopefully we can get into that energy here. As we don't, that's just kind of rough. So I suppose the play at this point is just go ahead and try and get up another Stuffle. But it looks like Bewear is definitely going to go down. And next turn we're going to have to actually go, unless we can draw into a double colorless, we're actually going to have to go for the we're going to have to go for the VS Seeker for Sycamore. It's amazing that we were able to come so far ahead on the last game, or be able to come through with a victory on the last game, but this game we're not able to come through as much. I do like this guy's choice to play Latios Decidueye using double Dragon Energy though. This is like a pretty cool combination. I kind of want to play it myself, but I do not have a Decidueye. I have one Decidueye, but I need like at least 3. Um, so we are going to see the light raid come out on my Bewear. And at this point, I honestly think it might even just be a good idea to try and trap something up here. Uh, and by something I mean a Decidueye. Um, just with Flareon. So let's go ahead and evolve into Vaporeon with one of my Eevee, as well as use Bewear over here to evolve Stuffle so we can abuse Rough Seas and start healing off the damage on all of our Pokemon actually. Go ahead and Eva Soda and just kind of waste that Eva Soda. And go ahead also Lysander in Decidueye. Yeah, Decidueye, just because Decidueye has the highest retreat cost. I mean, it's tied with a Rangaroo, but you know, you know, we do get the double colorless energy, which is pretty nice. Meaning our Bewear is going to be able to hit for some decent damage using Bear Hug. We do see the escape rope, so I'm just going to go ahead and switch into Eevee. Eevee's a very expendable Pokemon. If he wants to go ahead and try and spread some damage around, then that's fine by me, but we'll just see how it all works, I suppose. Honestly, it is very much looking like an uphill battle, but the fact that we do have the Rough Seas in order to heal ourselves is very nice. We see that my opponent hasn't used a single VS Seeker, so I think he's going to be able to take down our Flareon pretty soon here, and that will be a bad day. That will most certainly be a bad day. But fortunately, we can heal up our Flareon so that the Decidueyes just don't get easy KOs on it. Let's go ahead and use that as well as use Trainer's Mail and see what we can get off of the Trainer's Mail, Floatstone, or Nest Ball. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab Nest Ball. See what we can go ahead and grab out of here. We don't have any more Pokemon, which is a bit of a bummer. Go ahead and use Instruct. Grab one card. It is a double colorless energy, which is pretty ballin'. Use Professor Kukui. And honestly, if I take down this Latios, which I will be able to do with the help of Professor Kukui, as well as using Flareon, because if he Lysanders, then I take down his Pokemon. If he Lysanders my Flareon, then I can take down his Latios next turn. And if he takes down Bewear, then I can just attack with Flareon from then on out. While also charging up Vaporeon in the back. We do see the Rainbow Energy come down on the Latios back there, which is a little bit of a bummer for me. So we're gonna see what we can get off of the draw. Maybe something like a Super Rod. Super Rod would be pretty nice. But we will see. We'll see exactly what we can get. Super Rod, perfect. Perfect. Go ahead and shuffle that back in. Probably go Stuffle, Bewear. Stuffle, Bewear. We do know that one of the Bewear is in the prizes now. Go ahead and use Instruct. Draw into an energy, which is a bit of a bummer. and deal a nice 80 damage to this Latios. So let's see what we get off the prizes. We get a Rangaroo and Bewear. Alright, nice. Those are some pretty good prizes. So I think the next thing to do is probably just charge up Latios. Roundtable. Rocknaldo. Spoilers. Oh, sweet. So, Steven Universe. Good stuff. So he is going to be able to do 40 with both of his Decidueye, as well as another 20. Or as well as another 40 with Latios. I'm surprised he's aiming for a Rangaroo. Oh no, I'm not, because he's just gonna take 2 prizes in 1 turn. The only way I could really stop that is by retreating Flareon into Bewear. We see Dartrix. Dartrix will be able to come down next turn. So if I can draw into a double colorless energy and get Bewear down, then that'd be pretty dope. So I'll be able to do 20 on a Rangaroo. And also be able to do 20 to Flareon. I don't think he can take 2 prizes in 1 turn, but I could be wrong. And in case I am, I think I might Lysander, depending on what number VS Secret this is. This is only VS Secret number 2? Yeah, I'm actually going to Lysander here. And Lysander in the Decidueye without the Rainbow Energy, so he can't use Hollow Hunt if he wanted to. Get a special charge off of that. A little bit of a bummer. But let's just go ahead and Heat Breath for a nice 160 damage, meaning we get the knockout next turn, which is pretty solid stuff. Ooh, that's not solid stuff. That's most certainly not solid stuff. However, if we draw into the double colorless, then we're in a decent position here. So we do see the Rangaroo go down, which is a little bit more than a bummer. But it is still anyone's game. He's going to be able to get off 3 attacks. Oh, what? What? That was a wild play. That was a wild play. Is he going to switch into the Decidueye or the Latios? Into the Latios, okay. Ooh, not bad in the slightest. Looks like, GG well played. GG well played. He's going to be able to do 20 damage off of his Feather Arrows, as well do another 20 and put me in range of Latios' Fast Raid. So good game to my opponent. Well played. It was a tough deck to beat. We also just could not get set up for the life of us. But you know, that just happens sometimes. That's what happens when you play some rogue decks. So we're gonna go ahead and get one more game, and then I'll make a quick cut and see. Alright guys, so taking a look at Bewear once again, it does have some good things going for it. We have the ability to negate our opponent's retreat with Bear Hug for a double colorless energy. That's pretty good. Superpower for 80, 120 if you do 20 to yourself. 120 for 3 isn't awful, but not the best thing in the world when we also have to damage ourselves. The combination with the evolutions is nice, being a stage 1 and all, but I think Bewear just has a little bit too hard of a time getting set up with this 3 energy cost, and the fact that it can't put out enough damage to compete with a lot of things in the meta. So unfortunately, Bewear, you are a great guy, but it's a little hard to make you meta. I can't tell you how many games I was trying to get to showcase how Bewear can do well, but unfortunately we were just not able to get those games. So for next time, I'm going to go ahead and just pull something up real quick. We are going to do uh, we're going to do the new Golduck from Sun and Moon with this double jet attack. We're going to see what we can do with that. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and get to deck building, get to creating some ideas, see if I can make it any different than what other people are doing. There's already some pretty good lists out there, but we're going to see how Golduck does in the meta. So if you did like this video, if you did enjoy it, please let me know in the comment section. Leave a like, do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do. My name is Levi Adams, and I will see you guys next time.